So let's talk about the undeserved quality, reliability issue that it seems the Jeep Gladiator still has. Now, let me preface this with a caveat, I guess. There is one problem, I think, that the Gladiator still has, and that's that damn auxiliary battery. You know, I got a call a couple nights ago from my niece. She has a Jeep Wrangler, which still has the same system. It has the auxiliary battery system in it. And her truck wouldn't start, or her Jeep wouldn't start. And it's got to be that auxiliary battery. Her main battery was drained. It's a 2021, 4 model years old, right in the sweet spot for that damn auxiliary battery problem. Anyway, let's get on to it. I don't think that Jeep really does deserve this poor quality reputation, I guess, that they seem to have, that it still persists. And I've got proof, I think, as to why that is. We're going to compare the Jeep Gladiator, and this is a 2025. I have just a 2025 Sport with the Nighthawk trim edition, I guess, or Nighthawk edition. And I also have a 2025 Toyota Tacoma. I'm actually on my second 2025. I had a 2024, so it's the 4th generation new Tacomas. They've had years of planning, of course, to come up with this truck, testing and all that stuff. Also, a couple, 3 years of actual field use or building these trucks. So I think it's a fair comparison to kind of look at the Jeep Gladiator from a quality or reliability standpoint as compared to the new Toyota Tacoma. Number one, the new Tacoma has a transmission TSB out there on 2024s, and I think some of the 2025s. Don't quote me on that, but I know the 2024s. I haven't had one recall or TSB on this Jeep Gladiator. There's been nothing. No issues as far as anything that I'm supposed to take the truck in or be watching to see if there's a problem. That's what's going on with these 2024 Tacomas. They say that, I think there were about 100,000 of them or something like that, where it's possible that when the transmission was manufactured, some stuff was left inside, and there could be an issue. Now, it may not happen, it may happen. It's just a TSB, a technical service bulletin, something for the dealerships to be aware of, I guess. But how would you like to own one of those trucks and always wonder, especially if you're taking it on a long distance trip, or maybe you're out remote somewhere and you just don't know if at any minute something could happen with your transmission. We don't have that problem with the new Jeep Gladiator. There's no transmission issues. Number two, the rear brake line recall. I have it right here on my previous Toyota Tacoma. Apparently, the engineers, when they came up with the brake line or the brake system in that truck, built it in such a way that the brake lines actually protruded into the wheel area, where if things get in those wheels, you know, like if you're off-roading and stuff, it could actually break or rupture the brake lines, the fluid would leak out, and you could lose your brakes. That's an active recall. I have it right here on that 2025 Toyota Tacoma. I don't have that issue on my Jeep Gladiator. No problems with the brakes. I haven't gotten anything from Jeep saying that I could lose my brakes if I use the truck in a way that it was intended to be used. Another area where I think Jeep gets a bad rap, and it's not deserved, look at the Toyota Tacoma. It's got a great quality reputation, and they're having problems. Number three, radio and phone connectivity. I would say daily I get or see messages from folks. I have a Facebook group dedicated to the 4th Gen Tacoma. And every day I get 1 or 2 comments on there about people asking questions about poor performance when attaching their phones to the infotainment system or the radio system. And it doesn't matter whether it's Apple, whether it's Android, it seems to be across the board. It's not reliable. They lose connectivity. They can't access some things. Sometimes it just doesn't work at all. I haven't had any of those problems with the Jeep Gladiator. Matter of fact, even the infamous black screen, I swear up until this Jeep, every one that I had at some point would have a black screen. It would just go black. It was like a reboot. I don't know if it was a software update, an over-the-air update, or what it was, but I had that on every one except this one. Another area where the Toyota Tacoma is failing a bit, but the Jeep Gladiator is not. How do they get such a bad quality reputation when they're beating, arguably, the #1 reputable truck in the market? I don't know. Number 4, paint. We have to talk about paint. Oh my God, worse than the phone connectivity comments that I get, at least in volume, are complaints about the paint on the Toyota Tacoma. It's too thin, it's too soft, it's bad coverage. All kinds of issues. Rocks are thrown up from the sides because they don't protect the side areas from the tires. The mud flaps that they put on from the factory, at least in the United States, are too narrow. They don't stop all of the little stones from hitting the sides of the truck. Don't have that problem with the Jeep Gladiator. Matter of fact, their paint is so good that I believe you can look at it with the naked eye from a distance. And it looks better. It looks strong. It looks sturdy to me. I certainly have not had any issues with chipping or anything like that. I haven't even found a blemish on this truck. I don't know. Is their quality really bad? I don't think so. Lastly, the bed cap issue. Oh my God. On the Toyota Tacoma, unless you do something extra, if you're not aware of this, you put a tonneau cover on, and the inward pressure from the tonneau cover pulls up the edge of the bed cap. Now, I do have a solution on mine, so I don't have that problem. But some people have experienced about a 1/2 inch lift where it just goes up in the air. It looks like crap. Poor quality, poor design, I don't know. However, on the Jeep Gladiator, and granted, I don't have a cap on this truck, but the way that they've designed it, it's supported. I mean, it does not pull in because it's got full support underneath. It's almost like Toyota cheaped out a bit and only went with half of a cap up here underneath, or half of a lip, I should say. And the cap can then kind of rock on that if you put a tonneau cover on. Now, how many people put tonneau covers on? I would say many people do that. It's a problem. So is the Toyota Tacoma really better than the Jeep Gladiator when it comes to quality? I don't know. In comparing the two, I would think you would say the Toyota Tacoma, at least the 4th gen, the new version, has a poorer quality record than the existing Jeep Gladiator. Again, same years, 2025, 2025. And the new Tacoma's been out for 3 model years now. So does Jeep really deserve to still have this lingering thought that quality is bad? I don't think so, especially when I compare it to the #1 mid-size truck in the market. I think it's better. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.